Today we're speedrunning through SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. We'll start the speedrun as soon as we start a new game and go through a little bit of loading screens. But once we get past that, we're going to talk to our pet Gary and get right to collecting shiny objects. Now to exit the house, we need to collect 50 of these shiny objects to open that door and get our first golden spatula. Now to fight the final boss in this game, we need to collect a total of 75 golden spatulas out of the 100 in the game. So of course, we're going to be taking the fastest ones and using some insane tricks to do it. Trust me, this is one of the coolest and most broken speed games you'll ever see. And we kind of used a little bit on that by just platforming through Squidward's house. Not really supposed to do that, but we can do some nice platforming to get this spatula right on top of the pineapple. And then straight after that, we're going to be using one of the most important glitches for this entire game. You'll see that we're getting pulled back and this hand will drag us through as we also press A to begin going to the next level. Then if we go straight back here and do this one more time, you'll see the hand comes back, but it's going to stop us as soon as the level loads. And what that's going to do is disable the hand for the rest of the game, which is really important because that means we can go out of bounds and we can do some insane tricks. It's probably one of the most important glitches in this entire game. And you'll see it right here as we go. We're going to make this jump right over to the sock because that's another thing which lets us get golden spatulas, and make a jump over here where normally we would have to do a mini game. The hand would stop us, but we can just take the spatula and during the saving game, we can teleport back to Bikini Bottom. And this is going to activate a different glitch, which basically we have the saving game icon on our screen at all times. It will go away as soon as we get another golden spatula, but this combined with the hand disabling is going to allow us to go literally anywhere on the map. But the reason we have to do this is because there's a ton of invisible walls, and to get past them we have to take this very long way over here. And the reason we're doing this is to go into the second part of the game. As we get later into the game, there are going to be new glitches that are going to be introduced, and I mean, okay, it's a little hard to explain right now. You'll understand once we get there though. Basically, we're just taking the fastest path possible. But before we get into the third area of the game, we want to stop by Sandy's tree dome, and we're going to be doing a fighting mission. What we want to do is take out all these duplicatrons, because if we just try to attack the enemies before taking those out, we're not really going to get anywhere, obviously. So after taking out those three, we can now focus on all of the enemies. These guys shoot tartar sauce, and we also get the robots, and that's going to make Sandy pretty happy, so she's going to give us a golden spatula. Now as soon as we're done with that animation, we're going to go straight back out of there and also take out our memory card so we don't have to wait for the extra time that saving the game normally takes. And now we're going to be using another glitch. This is called Spongeball Storage, where basically we can keep jumping and not moving on the ground so that the Spongeball animation doesn't activate until we get up here. Then we can use that to do some more platforming, make it on top of this building where we can get some extra protection with some more underwear, and then finally make it straight over here to get to the third and final part of the game, which again is pretty insane. We would normally have to have 40 golden spatulas to get here, but right now we only have 4. And I can jump up over here to get my 5th and also get this insane warning because we took out our memory card. Yeah, the game doesn't really like that. But now we're going over to the Krusty Krab. Mr. Krabs is just gonna randomly appear, and we just wanted to do that so we have a teleport point for later, before then going into SpongeBob's dream. Now SpongeBob's dream is one of the hardest sections in the entire game, at least for me, and a big majority of that comes because of this trick we're about to do. Basically, you see this guy, he's gonna try to shoot projectiles on us, so I'm gonna line myself up very specifically, move forward, and then barely be able to get the right amount of distance to make it to the end of the level. That trick is a lot easier said than done. I'm very surprised I got it first try. But now we're not only getting 1 spatula but 2, because if you ever saw the show, you already know what Patrick's dream is gonna be. Thanks for the spatula, buddy. And then we can go teleport right back to the beginning of the level because we got 2 more spatulas to get here in this sequence. You know, pretty much the exact same platforming for this one, but we will stop the robot right there so he won't hit us before sliding and doing a very precise jump and just barely being able to make it up here where we can take that bounce pad and make it on top of Squidward's house. And with that, we can also go down here into Squidward's dream. Now we're not going to do anything with this dream just yet, but it will come important right at the end of the run, so we got a while before we get back there. And finally, 1 more spatula in the sequence. This time we're going to be heading to the left, and normally you would have to get a ball, take it with us so we get enough height to get this golden spatula, but if you time 2 jumps perfectly, then we're just able to barely clip onto it and get our last one right there, which means now it's time to teleport to the super bounce thing, which will put us right by Sandy's dream. And in this one, of course, we're going to see Larry the Lobster. I mean, it's Sandy's dream, come on. But we're going to be taking our surf surfboarding right over to this acorn. I'm pretty sure that normally you're not able to do this if the hand isn't disabled. I don't know, I haven't played this game casually in a while. But what we want to do is bash our head into this acorn, because basically we want to get our respawn point to be on top of it so we can get another golden spatula. And after bashing my head there for a while, we're going to be heading over here to this manure. I'm not gonna lie, I feel very bad for Sandy. Her face is in it, stop it. But anyways, that's going to teleport us right there, and we're going to be able to get our 10th golden spatula. And with that, we're going to teleport over to Mr. Krabs. We're not going to be paying him shiny objects for golden spatulas just yet. That will come in later, but he's a nice teleport point so we can go over to Squidward's house. And Squidward has one of the best spatulas in the game, because basically we just have to annoy him by jumping up and down 10 different times, and he gives us a spatula. I'm sorry, Squidward, I'm gonna leave. You can be happy now. And then once exiting, we're going straight over to Patrick, who's going to tell us that for every 10 socks we collect, he's going to give us another golden spatula. In our route, we're going to be taking 20, so we'll just be getting those as we go on. But now we're in Lagoon, which is another really cool level. You're going to see an insane exploit, which lets us get a ton of golden spatulas really quickly. But first of all, we just got some platforming. Gonna go straight past here, see a new enemy, which is going to try to terrorize that guy, but we skipped it. I don't really care about him. And Larry the Lobster is going to try to get us to connect some towers to take care of an enemy that's pretty far away. Normally you would have to go through all the towers and bubble bash onto them, but instead of doing that, we're going to use some more exploits. So what I can do is stand in a specific place and also line my camera up in a specific place. So it's not that specific, but it does generally have to be pretty good. So about there is right. And what I can do is jump and then, okay, messed it up once. Anyways, as I was saying, if I jump and then use this stomp move at the right time, you can see that, yeah, we're now in your nightmares. So yeah, for some reason that gives us a ton of momentum and we can make it over here. So now we can just take care of this dude with a regular attack, but we still have to make it back to the mainland. So what I want to do is do some very specific jumps, use one of my bubble bashes, and just barely make it onto this island where we can switch to Patrick and now go through the levels reverse. So a thing about this game is most areas are going to have a golden spatula at the end of each section. And since we're going backwards now, we're going to be able to get a ton of golden spatulas really quickly. But before we do that, we want to go say hi to Mr. Krabs. He's telling us to clear out his docks, and I'm going to wait a little bit because you'll see that enemy in the distance. It'll make me auto lock onto him, so I want to wait so that doesn't happen, because what I'm going to do here is throw this and also at the same time die, so we don't have to wait for this animation and can just respawn going right over to my boy Mr. Krabs. Now he won't give us a spatula just yet, but we will be coming back here later, so we just wanted to set that up now. But what we can do here is go by these levels backwards. At the end of each level, they have a box which takes you back to the beginning, and once you activate the end box, you can go from the beginning to the end. But since we're going backwards, we can exploit this extremely and just take all of these spatulas. It's amazing. Now finally, we want to teleport to my boy Larry the Lobster and take his golden spatula that we got a while away from killing that one guy after we did that nightmare fuel. And finally, after this, we want to go and teleport to the Cowabungie spatula, which we unlocked this point when we got our third spatula at the beginning of the run. And from here, we got some pretty simple platforming. I mean, it's just SpongeBob jumping. But here's another cool trick that's about to happen. We'll see that there's this hammer guy. Now he's going to try to hit us with his hammer, so we have to have some fairly specific movement to try to get him onto this rock. I want him to be a little more up, but this might work. I guess I'll try it right there. And then right after that, we want to die. So I'll make sure I don't hit the ground at all. And again, that's going to reset our respawn point, and we go right onto the top of the map instead of having to do a ton of platforming. With right here, we want to go explode that Duplicatatron as well as hit a button so we can get another golden spatula right there. Now, normally with that, we could go and face off against Robo Sandy, but I might as well collect one more spatula and a couple more socks. So from right here, SpongeBob's going to make a jump. We're going to take the right path, and that's going to give us our first sock. I do not want to miss it. Okay, that was a little too close. And we can do another pretty precise jump to get that sock right there. Now, after that, we want to open this box so we can use it later, and also die as soon as this cutscene starts, just so we don't have to watch the entire thing. You've already seen this once. But now it's time for a really cool, but also a very stressful trick. Basically, what we want to do is hit this Duplicatatron and then do one of these bashes and then use our feet attack, go right in the air and barely have enough momentum to make it right over to Patrick instead of having to fight a bunch of enemies. And that's going to give us our 16th golden spatula, which means it's time to teleport back to Patrick and go right up to our Robo Sandy fight. Now, the Robo Sandy fight is very boring. To be honest, this is kind of like the rest part of the game, which is a good thing because the glitches in this game are very hard and I kind of need it. And I seriously just got hit by that. You know, maybe Okay, we're just not going to talk about that. A little bit of a time loss for me just not paying attention. I'm going to pay a little bit more attention now. But you already saw what we have to do. She's going to do one elbowing attack, and then she's going to jump up in the air. All we have to do is then slam down, and yeah, we hit her once. We'll do this 3 times and then get her into the next phase, which means now it's time to be Patrick. And this is going to change her AI a little bit, but not too much. Basically, what we want to do is just stand right here so she doesn't have to run too far to do that move. Then we can stand over at this specific spot. She's going to jump up, we can slam down, and then her head's going to pop off. So what we want to do is then pick it up, throw it over there, and yeah, that's 1 hit of damage. So again, we're just going to do this 3 times. This is definitely one of my favorite speed games ever. I just really wish these boss fights were a little bit better. It's basically just an auto scroller. But now we're back to SpongeBob, and our strategy doesn't really change too much. Again, we're going to try to manipulate where she's going to run to so it's really close. Then we're going to stand right over here, wait for her to do her jumping move when we can slam down, and then just hit her 1 more time. You know, it's a pretty simple thing. So 3 times again. I'll see you after that. All right, there we go with that. That's all the damage done. So we get another golden spatula, as well as the ability to do a new move called the bubble bowl. So we want to go back to the Lagoon, and we're going to be using this bubble bowl in a very cool way to, again, completely break the game. So first of all, we want to use the box to go right over to the end of the level, and we're going to get Mr. Krab's spatula by clearing up this part of the game. We just have to take care of all the enemies, nice and easy. That's going to tell us that the bumper boats are clear, so once we make it back to Mr. Krabs, we're going to be able to take his golden spatula. But before that, we have some pretty cool things to do. First of all, we'll get that sock. Like I said, we need to collect 20 throughout the run, so every single one does count. Then we want to make our way over to here, and we want to grab 2 of these stone tikis. So I can do that while I fall down, and we're just going to take this with us, dodging all the enemies on the way. We also have to do some fairly precise throws, but I know the right locations to throw them at, so usually they don't fall off and just completely ruin the run. But that's going to be the first stone tiki. I can also beat up this kid. He was in my way. What do you want me to say? And we'll be taking the second one right now. Now I want to make sure that these stone tikis don't go on top of each other. They do have an auto aim feature, but we're not going to use that just yet, because for right now, we're going to be doing an incredibly cool exploit. So what I can do is line Patrick up very specifically, so this tiki is going to go right in the middle of that thing. All right, just got to get a good lineup. And this is very specific. I don't know if that was the best throw, honestly. It might still work, so we're just gonna try it, but I could have completely ruined it. I guess that looks okay. And thankfully, with the auto aim feature, we don't have to line that one up very well, and we can just have those 2 on top of each other. Then we're gonna take SpongeBob out, and what we can do is grab onto this ledge, use our bubble bowl, and you'll see that we just get a ton of shiny objects constantly. Now, this isn't the greatest bubble bowl in the world, but it does seem a little bit better now. And by the way, I am so sorry for this noise. Maybe we'll switch it with some background music. I'll decide later in post. But I'm also going to take that guy out so we can get another sock, and I just want to do actions while I'm getting a ton of shiny objects. And the reason we want all these shiny objects is because we're going to be able to use them to pay for golden spatulas by using Mr. Krabs. So I want to stop that right there, because if we don't stop it, we're not able to pay for this and get the bungee. And also, even throughout this cutscene that we have to watch, we're collecting shiny objects. Now, I'm forgetting the exact number. I think it's 42,000 we need, which we're actually looking pretty good on. Also, don't quote me on that. It could be very wrong. But I'm going to take this bungee spatula while we're still getting shiny objects. Yes, this glitch is absolutely insane. And it's going to make it that we have no need for any grinding or anything like that. It literally completely breaks the game and is going to allow us to get 8 golden spatulas from Mr. Krabs without doing pretty much any work. And it looks like we're going to have way more shiny objects than we need. So surprisingly, that really scuffed bubble bowl actually worked. But yeah, I'm also going to take this golden spatula and finally teleport back to my boy Mr. Krabs, because he still owes us a golden spatula for clearing out the area. And with all of that, now we're going to teleport to Mr. Krabs, who's going to be at the hub world. And I'll be honest, there's not too much to say during this section. Basically, I go up to him, I pay him some money, he gives me a golden spatula. They start out cheap, and every time they're going to get more expensive, but obviously we have a ton of money, so that's not really going to be a problem. And by the end of all this pay to win, we're now going to have 28 spatulas. I'm also going to take this sock, which is going to be on top of that water fountain, before now going to Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. We're going to be saying hi to Mermaid Man and go down to the Mermalair. Now here we start out as SpongeBob, pretty much like usual. I don't even know why I needed to say that. But we have some cool movement stuff we're gonna do, like right here using a bubble bowl so we can get some extra momentum, a little bit of a time save, and it just looks cool. Then after that, there's gonna be this cowboy guy. He's gonna try to shoot his dogs at me. I think that's what they're supposed to be, but I'm gonna ignore him because I can make this jump where I line myself up fairly specifically and just barely make it over there to the end of the level, which of course means another golden spatula for us. And we're gonna go deeper into the merma layer. Now for some reason at this point of the merma layer, Squidward's here. Not really sure why, but I'm gonna be able to use my bubble bowl to go through the level and also try to get a little bit of a speed up. That didn't really work right there, and switch to my boy Patrick. Now for another golden spatula, Mermaid Man wants us to hit 3 of these buttons, which we have to use the watermelons to do so. So we cheese that entire puzzle right there. For this one, we have to have kind of specific throws because all of these platforms are going to tilt. So I just want to remain pretty much in the center, make it right over to my watermelon, and hit another one of those buttons. And finally, we can also cheese this part of the game where we just stay at the edge and none of those boulders are going to hit us, so we can just go right through. But before we talk to Mermaid Man again, I will also want to feed this pearl, or clam. Did I just call it a pearl? Anyways, I want to feed that, then get my golden spatula, and now we'll be taking a watermelon and being able to use it to fly all the way over to Barnacle Boy. Now here's also a pretty cool puzzle. If you were a kid and you played this, you probably remember it as one of the most difficult puzzles in the game. Okay, maybe not that, but it was still a pretty annoying one and a pretty difficult one. But turns out all you have to do to complete this puzzle is to just go and use our attack on all of these buttons, and for some reason that solves it. Like literally, that is all you have to do. There is no need for any of that trial and error. You just go one by one, and this is gonna make Barnacle Boy pretty happy, so he's gonna give us a golden spatula. We're also gonna want to slam into this button because after we hit 4 of those, we'll get an extra golden spatula, and we want to line ourselves up, spend enough time right there so we can use the momentum to just barely be able to get into that loading screen, and this is gonna introduce us right over to Prawn. Now we're not gonna fight Prawn just yet, but like with a lot of the parts in this game, it's nice just to have his teleport unlocked. Instead, it's time for some more platforming. First of all, I'm going to take care of all these enemies because they can just hit you and be very annoying. I don't know how I missed that. But now I want to line myself up and just barely be able to make that jump and make it onto that part of the platform, so that skips a little bit of time. Then after that, we're going to be going through this section, which normally, obviously, you don't want to hit the red parts because that's going to hurt you, but I have plenty of health, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to go straight through it. Not really worth taking your time when you're trying to speedrun. I also can pick up a bunch of underwear on my way, so we really have no problems with health. We just make it straight through. Then after that, we see another cowboy guy, but I'm going to ignore him because what we have to do is bubble bowl onto that button and take another golden spatula for the end of this part of the level. This is also going to take us through this room, which you probably have either very good or very bad memories about the ball puzzle. But don't worry, because in just a little bit, we're going to be completely breaking this entire room. At least I really hope so. The glitch is very hard, but we'll probably be able to get it. Anyways, we made it through. We can talk to the computer, and they're going to give us another golden spatula. Then after that, we can bubble bowl onto this button, and that's going to be 4 of those buttons hit, so we can take that one as well. You know, just kind of quickly adding to our account. And now with that, we want to teleport over to this spatula on top of Shady Shoals. Now for this, you have to use the bubble bowl, and then it opens up a whole new puzzle. Unfortunately, we have to watch this entire cutscene with all this stuff appearing. It's showing us the entire layout very slowly, but we're also not going to do this just yet. We just wanted to get through that cutscene right away. And for now, we're going to be going over to Rock Bottom, one of my favorite parts of this game. But we're only going to be getting one of the spatulas for now and come back here later. And for this one, we have a pretty cool trick where we're going to use the momentum from his attack to be able to bubble bash straight over there, and we've made it through the level extremely quickly. You probably already know where I'm going with this because hey, look, another spatula, nice and easy. But with that, we can now teleport back to on top of Shady Shoals. And like I said, since we already made it through the cutscene, we don't have to watch it again, and that's going to line up these paths perfectly, so we don't have to do any waiting. This actually looks so nice. I love doing this thing, and we just make it straight onto the spatula. I love that sequence of events. It just looks so good. And then we also want to jump straight over to our next taxi pad and make it to Sand Mountain, which we're getting pretty close to the 40 golden spatulas we need to fight our next boss, Robo Patrick, and get an ability which lets us completely break the game. So first of all, we can get 2 on this mound. We're going to talk to Mrs. Puff, who's going to tell us if we beat her time, she'll give us a golden spatula. And SpongeBob, like usual, is going to use his tongue, because why wouldn't he? We're going to pick up a couple of socks on the way as well, and try to beat this level as fast as possible. Now, there are some annoying enemies like this guy who tries to throw stuff at you, and if we get hit by that, we're definitely going to die and have to restart that level. So thankfully, we didn't get hit by it, and instead can just go straight through. I mean, to be honest, there's not too much to say about this level. It's cool, I love these, but after you play them enough times, it isn't really that difficult. Anyways, once we make it over here to the end, we want to veer off to the right so we can get one more sock, and from there we're going to make it to the finish line. But we can't just return to Mrs. Puff right away, because first what we want to do is get through this gate, and there are going to be a ton of enemies right here. What I want to do is line up one of my bubble bowls so it's going to knock off that rock and hit that exploding thing, but unfortunately it didn't work. So tiny bit of a time loss, but I'll just wait over here. Okay, SpongeBob, please listen to me, and I'll hit that button, which is going to launch over that boulder, and now we can get that golden spatula. Shout out to these kids which are just sadly walking around in the background. What happened to them? I feel kind of bad. But anyways, Mrs. Puff is also going to give us a golden spatula. I don't know how I just walked around that in like a circle, but now we just need 2 more. And to get those 2 more, we're going to start out with another puzzle, which normally you would have to use the bungee rope or bungee tongue, whatever you want to call it. But instead, since we disabled the hand, we just go straight through, get another one of those. It feels so good to be using this exploit. Then after that, we want to teleport over to the Krusty Krab. Now in this section, all we have to do is take out all the enemies that are around the Krusty Krab, and I guess also get hit by that guy. But anyways, it's just a pretty simple path. We just go around exploding different things using our bubble bowl, stuff like that, before finally there's only these guys down at the bottom, and there we go, we saved the Krusty Krab or something like that. This part is also really funny because Mr. Krabs is technically supposed to be here, but instead there's just nobody, and a ghost just gave us the spatula. But anyways, finally it's time to fight our next boss, which is going to be Robo Patrick. And as soon as we do this, the intensity of the game is going to increase tenfold. But you know what they say, before you get to the highs, you gotta get to the lows, and it's another one of these boss fights, which isn't really the best. So pretty similar to Sandy, you just have to wait for the robots to do a bunch of stuff before you're able to attack them. So we have to wait for Patrick to do this whole spinning attack, and then finally be able to hit him with a bubble bowl. Now a really nice thing about this part of the stage is we could just stand on this platform, and while Robo Patrick uses this attack, I'm pretty sure it's impossible to hit us. Don't quote me on that. I'm still gonna try to dodge these things, but we're fairly safe. Anyways, I'm gonna do this 3 times and get back to you. Alright, that's the third, and now it's time to be using Sandy, which if you thought SpongeBob's gameplay is boring, I guess this one is a little bit better. But all we want to do is just switch back and forth between these lasso points, and yeah, just do this over and over again. It keeps us safe as well as dropping these boxes, which is going to come in important later. But I'll go kick him right in the back. He's going to put a bunch of goo all around the floor. So now you see why the boxes are important. And yeah, again, we're just going to do this 3 times. I'll see you when it's done. All right, there we go. That's going to be the 3rd hit. We also want to wait out this cutscene just a little bit, so we're going to be able to skip one of the attacks, and we'll switch back to SpongeBob. And if you thought this part would be any different from the first part, it is a little. I mean, there's more green goo and stuff, but in general, all we have to do is dodge the exact same attack. Yeah, gotta love these boss fights. But we also want to place ourselves in specific spots, because instead of the robot's back turning to you automatically, you have to go to it. But yeah, pretty easy. Not too much to say. I'll see you once it's done yet again. All right, there we go. That's going to be the boss fight done. And this is going to unlock us another power up, which is going to be the cruise bubble. And here's where the game really starts getting broken, because this is where we're going to introduce cruise boosting. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not really able to explain it as well as it should be, so I'm going to leave a link to the tutorial I used, which can explain what cruise boosting is very well in the description. It's made by the world record holder Shift, who's an amazing speedrunner. I definitely recommend checking out his channel if you want to see more Battle for Bikini Bottom content. But yeah, as you can see, by using the cruise boosting exploit, we're able to move at double the speed. And how I did this was by using the bubble bowl and the cruise bubble at the exact same frame against the wall. And if we do that a couple of times, we're going to be able to increase our speed by a lot. Again, that's pretty much the entire explanation I'm going to give you here. Shift has a much better explanation, but the basics behind it is we can go very fast. Oh yeah, I'm also going to use my cruise bubble normally, so that's what it usually looks like. And we can go right over here, take a spatula. And now you can really see how all of the different glitches in this game are coming together. Now we'll see our boy Mr. Krabs one more time, and we're going to be trying to do a cruise boost. I'm not the greatest at these. I'd say I've played a lot of this game and I'm pretty good at them, but it's still a very hard thing to get used to. And there are a lot of factors going into it, but we're going to be using it for almost every every spatula in this game. Even if we're just using it for a short amount of time, like right there, it's worth it because it makes you go so fast. But now we have to switch back to our boy Patrick, because what we want to do is slam onto the ground. That's going to confuse all of the enemies, and then we can throw them right at this water goo thing, whatever it's called. You know, these like cylinders which are shooting out goo. Oh, I'm actually pretty surprised he got it there. Anyways, we take care of all those guys. That's going to get rid of a lot of the goo around this area, and we'll be able to get another golden spatula. I also love Patrick's spatula animation. He just looks so happy. Anyways, that's enough not cruise boosting, because we're going back to my boy SpongeBob being able to use this wall to do a couple of cruise boosts. You can also tell if it's not strong enough by if you hold backwards. If it's a strong cruise boost, you should basically not move at all, but if it's a bad cruise boost, you're going to keep moving. And also, I am messing this up so many times. Please, SpongeBob. I'm gonna recenter myself. I gotta get both the cruise boosts right in a row. I think that should be enough. Okay, a little bit more. Come on, just give me the second cruise boost. I don't know why this wall is making it so difficult. And there we go. You saw that we weren't able to hold backwards and get a ton of momentum. That means we have a strong cruise boost and we're able to move at twice the speed. Which, by the way, this double speed is held during everything. So we can use stationary moves like our bubble bash, and we're still gonna be able to move forward. And that's going to make some of the platforming in this game absolutely insane. I feel like I've said that so many times this video. What can I say? This speed game's just awesome. Anyways, I'm going to take care of these guys pretty much just because I have completely lost a run to those guys randomly hitting me, and it's not worth it. That run was even better than this one. But here's another funny part of the game, because normally this is supposed to be the first level you complete. But since we came back here later, you'll see that we can use our cruise bubble and just keep hitting the king jellyfish with it. It completely ruins the entire boss fight, or it doesn't really ruin it. I'd say it enhances it and just makes it amazing. We finished it out nice and easy. And now you're probably getting the idea of why we wanted to do the levels in the order we did, because with cruise boosting and our new power-ups, we're going to go through all of these levels extremely fast, and it's worth the little time loss right at the beginning of the game. Anyways, after this, we're gonna slide on down, make it over to the spatula nice and easy, and be able to take King Jellyfish's jelly over to Squidward, which there we go. That's going to be all the spatulas in this level. Now after that, we're gonna go over to downtown Bikini Bottom, which is funny because normally this is the second stage you would complete. We're already at the end game. Now for this one, to start out, I like cruise boosting against this wall. It's usually a pretty consistent way of doing it. You know, just gotta keep bashing my head into this. Okay, I said it was pretty consistent and now I'm messing it up a ton. Cruise boosting is hard, okay, just trust me. But there we go, that should be enough momentum, and we'll be able to go over to this cannon part. Now normally we would want to use the sinks or whatever those are to hit all of these areas, and then we can go and press the buttons. But by using the cruise boost, we have enough momentum to just be able to hit them ourselves, and now we can go through attack all of these buttons as well, which is easier said than done. Okay, SpongeBob, just go. There we go. It's a little bit hard with the cruise boost. I mean, I should be better at it. Come on, SpongeBob. Okay, that's 3 of them. Now I just have to hit this one, which we also don't want to go out into the void, so I have to aim myself. Oh yeah, by the way, anytime you get hit or you use the bubble bowl, we lose our cruise boost. So getting hit there wasn't very good. Oh, whatever. I'm just gonna collect my spatula. The good thing is there's another area right here where we can get another cruise boost, so it doesn't lose too much time, but it's a tiny bit frustrating. Anyways, after this, I want to do some jumps and also slam onto that thing so I can make it over this fence, or I guess not do it. Yeah, this trick is also pretty precise. I will try it one more time. We got enough height to do it that time, and now it's just some general platforming. I mean, I say general platforming, but I guess it's not, because we're using the cruise boost the entire time, which turns this from general platforming to kind of insane platforming. Like what I can do right here, combine a bunch of different moves to make myself go really far, and we can make it over to here and switch over to our girl Sandy. Now with Sandy, I want to go ahead and use her lasso and be spamming her lasso attack, or I guess it's kind of an attack, and being able to hit that so we don't have to do the platforming yet again. This game really is just about doing as little actual platforming as you can by using exploits. Anyways, after that, we see our boy Larry, but we can't stay Sandy for too long because it's time to switch back to SpongeBob, be able to hit this button right there, and we have to do a very precise jump to dodge the invisible wall. Okay, I didn't do it right there. As I was saying, a very precise jump to dodge the... Please. A very precise jump to dodge the invisible wall. That is all I had to do. Anyways, that saves us some more time, gets us our last spatula right here, and now we can teleport back to Goo Lagoon. So as you've been seeing, this is really where we go and play cleanup on all the old levels. We do the spatulas, which are now faster to do with cruise boosting, because the teleport function in this game is just so good. But we want to hit that button right there, and then we're going to get a cruise boost against this box. In general, boxes are usually really good places to get cruise boosts, because they're just a really good material, they're nice nice and flat. It just works out really well. And we can use that cruise boosting to do some more platforming. How many times am I going to say that exact same sentence in this video? Please don't count in the comments. But we're going to take that sock right there and then be able to use this cruise boost to have enough momentum to make it over to the spatula. And yeah, there goes another one. Then it's time to go to rock bottom, which again, such a cool stage. And you'll also see that as we're doing these things. Now we want to get our cruise boost against this machine. And once we have all of that speed, we're going to be able to jump right past that guy, not get alerted, so he's going to hit us. And also we want to jump across these things, which are going to fall down as soon as we hit them, but it's nice and easy when you do have the cruise boost. And with this, we want to do some very specific platforming, combine two moves to just have enough distance to be able to make it over there. And then after that, we just have to hit this trampoline, which how am I missing? Please, SpongeBob. I missed it 2 times already. Do not make it a third. Okay, thank you. We can make it over to the spatula. It really isn't that hard. Now with that, we're going to switch over to the swing along spatula, which is going to transform us into Sandy. And that's just going to make our next spatula a little easier. So what I want to do is get on top of this rock, and we're going to bait out this enemy so he's not able to hit us before going back originally where we want to go. And yeah, that guy just got his ankles broken. And we got another spatula. But that's enough Sandy for now, because it's only been a little bit and I already missed cruise boosting. But before we can activate our next one, we want to use our cruise bubble and be able to hit the button all the way over here, which is going to reveal another spatula. But when have I played the game the way the developers want me to? Instead, we're getting a nice little cruise boost right over there, and we're going to be doing some kind of precise platforming. This is a lot more intimidating when you're learning the run, but once you get better at it, it's a bit easier. I just do not want to fall off this place. That's a little too scary for me. And we'll be able to jump right over to the spatula. Yeah, easy. And now we can teleport over to Across the Trench of Darkness, which we got this spatula on the second half of the run before we defeated Robo Patrick. And that's going to put us in a nice position to switch to Sandy, and we can do some lassoing right over here. I really don't know how the physics of this thing work now that I'm thinking about it. Like, Sandy, how are you? You are breaking physics. I guess maybe they're underwater. That might help with it. But anyways, we can take that spatula, and now we're done with rock bottom, which means now it's time to make it to Mermalayer, and it's time for the rolling ball puzzle. But like I said, we have a way to completely break this rolling ball puzzle. What I want to do is line myself up very specifically, and I have to move my control stick to the left at the same time as using a cruise bubble, and I just got that third try. Oh my, that was actually insane. I've never done that. But yeah, also I'm realizing I said cruise bubble. I meant moving our control stick to the left at the same time as doing a cruise boost. Yeah, that trick, it has caused me a lot of pain in the past, but we thankfully got it, which is insane. Anyways, now it's time to fight Prawn, but instead of fighting Prawn, we're gonna exploit him. I mean, you already know what the speedrun is like, because in this game, the developers left a bunch of debug triggers, which we can hit using the cruise boost and going outside the map. The developers never expected you to be able to do that, but we can use that to just beat the boss nice and easy and take their golden spatula without actually fighting them. All right, next place we're going to is Sand Mountain, where we're only getting 1 spatula. We can go over to the bungee place, which, you know, we completely cheesed, and get a cruise boost against this wall. Then once we have our cruise boost, this is fairly specific. I want to go bash straight up there, just barely be able to get enough height to get that spatula. And normally you would have to use Sandy and her lassoing to do that, but we can just use SpongeBob. We also want to take this sock right over there, and that's also 19 socks, so we only need 1 more before then going to on top of the chum bucket. And you already know the drill. We're cruise boosting and doing some more cool platforming. So I can bash onto this sign, and then I want to do a very specific jump to just make it on top of these buttons and try my best not to fall off. Please, SpongeBob, you got this. And there we go, nice and easy. And then after that, we're going straight over to Kelp Forest. And this level is very nice because it's kind of structured like a circle. What we can do is use a cruise boost right there and use that momentum to make it all the way over here. Now, normally this would be used to get from the end of the level to the beginning, but now we're going from the beginning to the end, and you probably already know what we're doing with this. Because like usual, at the end of each part of the levels, there's going to be a golden spatula. I can also take Mermaid Man's challenge and not do it exactly how we would like. Instead, we're going to try to trigger it right there and go straight back through the box. Mermaid Man was looking at me like, I know what you're doing, but it doesn't really matter. I already completed it. Oh, I just love the exploits in this game. They're so great. And with that, it's time to just collect another spatula. And that's also 3 spatulas in an extremely quick succession. So you can see how this game speeds up as soon as cruise boosting is unlocked. And with that, we can also teleport back to the beginning of the level. See our boy Barnacle Boy, he's gonna go, hey kid. And hey, look, another spatula. Oh my gosh, this part of the game is so great. But we also want to use our cruise bubble to hit that button, and that's going to open up this cage and another spatula right there. But first, we got to take this one while the timer is counting down. Not too much of an issue though, when you can literally just jump across here. Yeah, there we go. Another one's done. Anyways, we're going to Tiki Roundup, which makes us into Patrick. And I mean, not too much to say. You pretty much already know the drill. We're going backwards through the level. And hey, look, our last spatula that we're going to be getting in this section. All right, so that was very profitable. Now it's time to teleport to Mr. Krabs. And that's just because he has a really good spawn point, and we can use that to get this sock behind the trash can. And that's going to be all 20 socks we need for the run. So now no more worrying about that. We're completely focused on spatulas. Oh yeah, we're also in the Flying Dutchman's place now, and he's looking pretty good. Gotta say, I like your skincare treatment. Anyways, we're going to get a cruise boost right on top of here while he's doing whatever he's doing. Why does he keep like yawning, or what is that? Anyways, we get the cruise boost. We have to watch this short little cutscene, and then there's this guy who is very annoying to dodge. I hate that guy. Thankfully, he wasn't able to hit me, and I can use the cruise boost to just make it straight across here before having to cancel it by using a bubble bowl. Then we'll use our cruise boost to hit that, close off this like goo reserve. I don't even know what you would call that, but that's going to reveal another golden spatula for later. Anyways, another spot to get a nice cruise boost, you know, if I can actually get it. Some of these cruise boosts are just so hard for me. But we're now going to be able to jump all the way down here onto the ship so we can get this golden spatula. We do want to line up our camera nice and well, because if we don't, we're going to fall into the goo and, you know, have to respawn, all of that stuff. I'd rather that doesn't happen. We also can go straight through these bars if SpongeBob wants to squeeze his head in. Come on, SpongeBob. There you go. Okay, that almost missed the trampoline. That was a little too scary. But now we're just on the edge of the map, which is hilarious. Again, we can only do this because we have the hand disabled. At least I'm pretty sure. I've never tried this without the hand disabled. But anyways, we can use this cruise boost to be able to make this extremely large gap using all of our moves. We're going to cancel it right there because I don't want to take any risks and die over here at this part of the level. And we can just slowly and surely walk over to the next part. But what's not slow and sure is this next part we're going to cheese. Also, why was Squidward here? Why is Squidward just at random parts of the map? What are you doing, man? Go play your clarinet. Anyways, another bungee spatula, which we're gonna cheese again. Gotta love it. And now we can teleport to that bungee space. Oh, I actually teleported to the wrong place. Okay, that's a little awkward. Anyways, as I was saying, we're going to teleport to that bungee place and now be able to just go across here using SpongeBob's ability. I don't know how he does that. Can all sponges do that wall thing? I never really thought about it. Anyways, it's time for some more platform, which that was the worst jump I've ever seen in my life. Okay, I'm going to be honest. At this point in the run, I am completely shaking because this is a very good run. And I really don't want to mess it up. So let's just play well. Let's not do anything wrong. And let's also go right over here and get another spatula before we take this like airboat and yeah, I guess go to another spot. I don't know how that boat works. Now here's where we're going to be able to get 2 more spatulas. We'll see our boy Mr. Krabs. He's like, I like money. And I'm like, cool, dude. Yeah, we have a really good connection. Anyways, this is the spot I want to get the cruise boost at, which is a little bit awkward, but you know, I got it right there. I want to take care of this guy because he is going to be very much of a nuisance and also get that cannon ready. Then this is a little bit of a hard part of platforming where we barely make it over. Okay. Oh, that is very stressful. Now I just have to make sure that I don't mess up any of these jumps and we can make it over here, get another cannon ready, and obviously we want to get all 4 ready. There's one right there before we make this final jump and get to our last one. Now I guess I might as well get rid of my cruise boost right there. All cannons are now ready to fire, and it gives us a golden spatula as well as the ability to fire that cannon, which SpongeBob, please, what am I doing? Okay, I really need to calm down. As I was saying, okay, we're just gonna fire the cannons, you know, no problems at all. But unfortunately for us, it will not work at all. Like, that was the most pathetic attempt of my life. But it's going to open up the Flying Dutchman boss fight. But like I said, there are 2 spatulas right here. There's one right there and another as soon as we jump on this trampoline and make it over to the top. Then we can use our teleporting powers to go over to defeat the Flying Dutchman. But come on, did you really think we're actually going to be doing a boss fight? No. Instead, we're going to be doing some cruise boosting. So as soon as I get my cruise boost, I'm going to want to do some pretty cool platforming. We can use all of these techniques. Okay, that was perfect. And just go and scale the ship. Now, this is a little bit of a hard jump and okay, all right. Okay, that's fine. No, I need to control my can I even make it out of here? I am actually freaking out. I really do not want to mess up this run. Anyways, we're just gonna do this correct this time. So I want to line myself up better here, make a very small jump, and then that barely worked. Oh my gosh. Anyways, it's time for another debug trigger where we can line ourselves up, and I just have to make sure it's at the right spot. There we go. Sandy says had enough, even though she never even fought the Flying Dutchman, and we take his spatula. That's such a cool one. And now it's time for the last spatula in Flying Dutchman's graveyard. Now we're going to spawn over here because unfortunately this is the closest place, and we're going to be spending our last bit of money at this clam. I guess it's not actually our last bit of money. We kind of have a ton. But like usual, time for another cruise boost. Now with this cruise boost activated, I want to hit this button, which is going to start another puzzle. And normally you would be like a bowling ball like SpongeBob sometimes is, but instead we can cruise boost, do some cool platforming to make it over here as fast as possible. Now all I have to do is make it into this cage, and that's going to be Flying Dutchman done. Also, I guess SpongeBob dead. Sorry about that, man. Anyways, it's finally time to go over to SpongeBob's dream and complete Squidward's dream, which we set up very, very long ago. All right, so this is one of the hardest levels in the entire game. What I want to do is get my cruise boost right there, and you can see there is not much to platform on here. It is very stressful, but I'm going to try my best to make sure I get this. We can get a jump right there, which is kind of insane. And I noticed because of where that platform is, or like the drum is, whatever it is, we're in a good spot to do this perfectly. All I have to do is hit that drum right there, and then we can barely make this jump straight over here, and all we have is the easy parts. Okay, just have to make it there onto his clarinet and do one more of those, and there we go. Okay, that puts a gigantic weight off of my shoulders, because now with the socks that we've gotten throughout the game, we can go to Patrick and get our 75 spatulas. Yeah, not too much to say about this. Thanks, Patrick. But anyways, now it's time to go back to the chum bucket, and we're going to be facing off against the final boss, Robo SpongeBob. Which this boss fight is a lot better than the last two, because we actually get to do stuff. Now, first of all, we'll see that Robo SpongeBob has a lot of these points on his body, which we have to hit with our cruise bubble. I can just start out by hitting all of those nice and easy, and then we also want to hit Plankton. But here's where it gets hard, because we want to use the momentum from SpongeBob's karate chop to go and hit another debug trigger, which I messed up. But the good thing is all we have to do is fall down, and we get a bunch of tries on this. I do not want to use a bunch of tries though. Please get it right. Okay, as I said, we're going to use enough height. Please. All right, not at the end of the game. Just let me get this. How is that not enough height? You know what they always say, fifth time is the charm. We're able to hit the debug trigger finally, and there we go. But the speedrun's not over yet, because now we're inside of Robo SpongeBob, and we have another cool trick where we want to hit this duplicatatron. It's going to explode and send us all the way over to this part of the game. Now, if you've played this game before, you know that you have to go through a bunch of different platforms, hit different things, and also deal with Robo Plankton over and over again. But since we did that trick, Robo Plankton is not a problem anymore, and all we have to do is focus on Robo SpongeBob. So I can go through here using my cruise bubble over and over again. That's going to be the second spot I need to hit. And finally, we only have one more spot before we can call time. I'll use my cruise bubble right here, and as soon as it hits that light, there we go, that's time. And I gotta say, I am very proud of this speedrun. All right, subscribe if you enjoyed. Bye.